Hello, my name is Ashley Triggs, and I'm excited to share a little about my journey with reading and books. From the time I was a baby, reading was a magical part of my life, thanks to my parents and their love for storytelling. Join me as I take you through some of my favorite books, memorable reading moments, and how they shaped my love for literacy. Why do I read? I read to learn. Reading is a powerful and personal tool for gaining knowledge and developing critical thinking skills. I read to expand my vocabulary, encourage professional development, support my personal growth, and satisfy my curiosity about the world around me. To me, reading is the best way to explore diverse perspectives and understand the world from various viewpoints. I read to grow. Books have inspired my personal growth by helping me to reflect, empathize, and broaden my worldview. Engaging with texts that challenge my thinking and introduce me to different philosophies has helped to shape my sense of identity, values, and beliefs. Finally, I read to connect. Reading has given me the chance to connect with ideas, characters, and stories that do not mirror my life or cultural experiences. This pushes me to think in new ways. By diving into various genres, I can explore deep emotions and empathize with characters as they navigate their own challenging experiences. Early reading from birth to age 5. From the time I was an infant, my mom and dad fostered a love for reading that became a cherished part of my childhood. I loved our nightly reading time, with my mom bringing the stories to life with the many animated voices of the characters. After several requests for mom to read back to back, dad had to learn the art of expressive reading to bring the stories to life as she did. As the years passed, my childhood book collection steadily grew, thanks to thoughtful gifts from family, my parents' coworkers, and friends. Every birthday, Christmas, and even sometimes just because, new books were added to my ever expanding collection. Some memorable authors include Dr. Seuss and his whimsical and zany stories. They showed me how much fun the English language could be. Stan and Jan Berenstain had a story for every childhood mishap Little Bear and his sister encountered, illustrating how a little help can make a difference. Where the Wild Things Are, the Children's Bible, and the Polar Express are my favorites, whose lessons have stayed with me from this period in my life till now. One of my core childhood memories is of the book Where the Wild Things Are, a gift from Miss Fashionat, my mom's best friend's mother. According to my mom, this book quickly became my absolute favorite. I would ask for it every night at bedtime, and even though I was encouraged to pick other books, Where the Wild Things Are stayed in the rotation. It even became the first book I could read by myself. For a pre-K show and tell, I bought my most treasured book and performed a dramatic reading with the familiar monster voices and all. Elementary school reading from ages 6 to 10. As my childhood continued, I was almost never seen without a book in hand. I immersed myself in multiple series like The American Girl Doll by Valerie Tripp and Connie Rose Porter, The Babysitter's Club by Anne Martin, and The Boxcar Children by Gertrude Chandler Warner. These stories opened my eyes to different cultures, American history through the perspective of a girl my age, and the exciting adventures siblings and teens experienced. One of my absolute favorites at this age was Stephanie's Ponytail by Robert Muntz. The story hilariously addressed peer influence and peer pressure. I remember laughing with my mom when we reached the part where Stephanie walked into class with her neat ponytail, specifically to the back, while her classmates stared at her with freshly shaven heads. Definitely a story we revisited. The lesson of that story gave me the confidence to create my own trends and be true to myself. Beyond books, other media has also played a big role in shaping my early literacy experiences. Reading Rainbow with LeVar Burton, Lamb Chops Play Along, and Sesame Street were my go-to educational TV shows. These programs made learning enjoyable, introduced me to new books, and taught valuable life lessons like friendship, forgiveness, and creativity, which are skills that extend far beyond the pages of a book. Reading Rainbow was particularly special to me due to LeVar Burton's enthusiastic storytelling and the show's diverse selection of books. I remember one episode where they read Stella Luna. The story of the little bat's adventure fascinated me so much that I begged my mom to take me to the library to check it out to read at home. That episode sparked my curiosity about animals and nature, leading me to explore more books on similar topics. Middle school and high school reading from ages 11 to 18. When I was 11, the Harry Potter series by J.K. Rowling was the latest and most in demand book released. At that age, I spent more time reading than sleeping, completely lost in the magical halls of Hogwarts. With my mini flashlight hidden under the covers, I found myself navigating dangerous encounters with Harry Potter, his best friends, and classmates. This series was another book club selection for my mom and me. She had to read them quickly to keep up with my curiosity about what could happen next. I loved the entire series and found it to be an eye opening experience of a captivating, magical world. This series was key in establishing my love for adventure, fantasy, drama, and mystery themed books. As I continued in middle school, one of my first experiences with adult fiction was The Lovely Bones by Alice Sebold, recommended by my mom's best friend, Miss Mary Carroll. This book is centered on the tragic story of a teenage victim in a true crime case. I was so captivated by the story, I often fell asleep with it in hand as well. However, one day I discovered that it was missing from my book bag and nowhere to be found in my middle school class days. I was devastated, especially since I was only halfway done with the book. A few months later, I spotted it in the hands of a peer, and the book looked almost destroyed. When I showed it to my mother, she decided I could no longer bring her books to school. Despite this, I was determined to finish the story and find out if Susie Salmon would ever escape and find peace. In high school, Pretty Little Liars by Sarah Shepard was my favorite guilty pleasure book series, long before the popular TV show brought it to screen. I immersed myself into the high school drama, suspense, and mystery that surrounded the lives of the five characters: Allison, Aria, Emily, Spencer, Hannah, and the mysterious A. While I could not fully relate to their experiences, so I found myself enthralled by the story and eagerly awaiting each new release, using my part time job check to purchase the next book. The intrigue of uncovering secrets, the complex relationships between the characters, and the ever present shadow of A kept me turning pages. Pretty Little Liars was a journey I relished and deepened my appreciation for drama and mystery genres. William Shakespeare's works had an impact on my high school learning. Engaging with his plays and sonnets in my 11th grade American literature class with Miss Stuckey enhanced my language skills and laid a strong foundation for advanced literacy and analysis skills. Upon hearing of my year-long focus on Shakespeare, my mom enrolled me in a summer drama camp dedicated to Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream, where I played the fairy Puck. This hands-on experience deepened my appreciation for Shakespeare's work. However, it also showed me acting was not a strong suit of mine. Despite this, I have a lasting love for theater arts and prefer to support in the audience. My mom has had a deep impact on my literary journey. She introduced me to free verse poetry through the works of African American author Shel Silverstein. The Giving Tree and Following Up were two books that grew with me, helping me develop my perspective on the world as I matured. One of my fondest memories is the mini book club my mom and I previously shared. As I transitioned from a child to a preteen and eventually college, we would read together, discuss the story, and share our thoughts. Her encouragement and the time we spent together exploring books have been pivotal in shaping my passion for literacy. College and young adulthood reading from ages 18 to 25. As I transitioned from high school to college, Mom and I kept our book club alive over the phone and through email. We became deeply engrossed in Philippa Gregory's historical fiction books, especially her Tudor novel collection. I loved reading the intriguing backstories of the kings, queens, and members of King Henry VIII's family and court. The dramatic historical narratives provided a vivid glimpse into daily life during the 1400s to 1600s through the eyes of the queens and maidens of the court. The blend of historical accuracy and rich storytelling brought to life the complex power dynamics of this fascinating period. For example, in The Other Boleyn Girl, the story of Mary Boleyn's life during and after court highlighted the intense rivalries and manipulation that defined this era. Adulthood reading from ages 26 to present. In my young adulthood, my reading journey was influenced by my experience at a peaceful protest, where I was recommended Asada, the autobiography by Asada Shakur. This book sparked my curiosity about the revolutionaries who shaped today's laws, rights, and their processes of overcoming using their once considered radical methods. Asada's story helped me gain a deeper understanding of the complexities of social movements and their impact. She offers a rich perspective on historical events relating to racial injustice, the Black Power movement, and the prison systems. Autobiographies like hers bring historical experiences and issues to life, making them relatable and inspiring empathy with every page turn. In this chapter of my life, the Black Lives Matter protests became prevalent in my city. This social justice fight motivated me to understand the history of protests and the struggles of Black revolutionaries. This led me to read a range of autobiographies, including Assata Shakur's, Malcolm X, Fred Hampton, the Black Panthers, Marcus Garvey's, Michelle Obama's, and many more. Exploring these autobiographies allowed me to see the world through the eyes of someone with whom I shared a cultural connection. I witnessed how their perspectives evolved for the better, yet in some cases, only after facing significant challenges, destruction, and even death. Reading about Black actresses' difficult experiences in Hollywood through the titles Small Doses by Amanda Seales and Awkward Black Girl by Issa Rae opened my eyes to the impact that the entertainment industry can have on your self identity and self esteem. Their journeys reinforce the importance of resilience, self awareness, and presenting your true identity despite the pressures of society. These books deepened my connection with the world around me and showed me how history and personal struggles are part of the ongoing fight for justice and identity globally. Why do I still read? I continue to read to learn. So far in my life, I have identified the genres that support my professional knowledge and interest. I plan to expand upon this by continuing to explore new ideas, cultures, religions, and perspectives to challenge my current thinking. I still read for inspiration. Whether it's fiction or nonfiction, stepping into the shoes of others while they overcome obstacles or make significant impacts to the world around them is motivational. These books fuel my ever growing creativity and encourage me to pursue my dreams and passions. I still read for the enjoyment of getting lost in an adventurous tale, unraveling a mystery, appreciating the intricacies of historical fiction, or reading up on current events. Reading remains one of my favorite hobbies for relaxation and joy. Thank you for taking the time to journey through my literacy autobiography from my earliest memories to the present day.